Historic victory. How the Springboks made rugby history with back-to-back championships. The stadium roared like a storm. Green and gold flags fluttered under the evening sky. The sound of vuvuzelas merging with chants of Bok. Bok! It was more than just another rugby match. It was a nation's heartbeat condensed into 80 minutes of thunder and fire. The Springboks, South Africa's pride, were on the brink of history. Never before had they claimed back-to-back Rugby World Cup titles. Until now. But this story isn't just about a final. It's about a journey that started years earlier, forged in adversity, discipline, and unbreakable unity. For decades, rugby in South Africa wasn't merely a sport. It was a mirror of the nation's spirit. From the 1995 miracle that united a divided country, to the 2019 redemption in Japan led by Siya Kolisi, the first black captain to lift the Webb Ellis Cup. The Springbok story had always been about something deeper than the scoreboard. It was about resilience. It was about belief. And in 2023, that belief turned into destiny. Chapter 2, The Road to Glory. The 2023 Rugby World Cup wasn't supposed to be easy. South Africa found themselves in the so-called group of death, alongside powerhouses like Ireland and Scotland. Pundits doubted them. Critics said they had peaked, and analysts questioned their tactics. The Springboks didn't care. They were building something far greater than tactics. They were building legacy. Under the leadership of Siya Kolisi and coach Jacques Nienaber, the Springboks crafted a game plan rooted in brute physicality, meticulous discipline, and mental fortitude. Players like Handré Pollard, Cheslin Kolbe, Dwayne Vermeulen, and Eben Etzebeth became warriors in the truest sense. Not just players, but embodiment of South Africa's never-say-die spirit. Each match was a battle. Ireland edged them out in the group stage, but the Springboks refused to bow. Instead, they turned that defeat into fire. Every scrum, every tackle, every try became a statement. We are not done yet. By the time they reached the knockout rounds, the Boks had transformed into an unstoppable force. Against France in the quarterfinal, they played one of the greatest games in Rugby World Cup history. A chaotic, thrilling, heart-pounding 29-28 victory that had fans holding their breath until the final whistle. Then came the semi-final against England. The match tested their limits. Physically, emotionally, spiritually. Down by 9 points with 10 minutes left, the Springboks clawed their way back. Handré Pollard's ice-cold boot sealed the deal 16-15. It was pure drama, pure defiance. They had made it. The final awaited. Chapter 3, the grand finale. The stage was set. Stade de France, Paris. The opponent, New Zealand's mighty All Blacks, the most decorated team in rugby history. The weight of a nation rested on South Africa's shoulders. The world was watching. The Springboks knew this wasn't just a match. It was a statement to the world that they could rise again and again, even when no one expected them to. From the very first whistle, the game was brutal. Tackles echoed like thunderclaps. The rain poured down, turning the turf into a battlefield of mud and blood. The All Blacks came out fierce, but the Springboks defense, the famed Green Wall, held strong. Eben Etzebeth's bone-crushing tackles stopped New Zealand's momentum time and time again. Pieter-Steph du Toit was everywhere, tackling anything that moved like a man possessed. Cheslin Kolbe's speed electrified the crowd every time he touched the ball. Faf de Klerk's relentless energy fueled the team's tempo. It was a war of attrition. No team blinked. Then came the turning point. Sam Cane, the All Blacks captain, was sent off with a red card for a high tackle. The Springboks saw the opportunity and seized it. Pollard, cool as ever, slotted his penalties. Each kick edged South Africa closer to destiny. New Zealand fought back valiantly. Beauden Barrett scored a try that nearly turned the tide. But in the end, the Springboks' composure, experience, and belief held firm. When the final whistle blew, South Africa 12, New Zealand 11, history was made. Chapter 4, The Tears of Triumph. The moment Siya Kolisi lifted the Webb Ellis Cup again, the world stopped. The image of the smiling captain, drenched in rain and tears, became an instant symbol of triumph. Not just for sport, but for humanity. South Africa had done it. For Rugby World Cups, 1995, 2007, 2019, and 2023. And now, the only team ever to win back-to-back titles in the modern era. For Khaleesi, it wasn't just about victory. It was about what it represented. Born in a township outside Port Elizabeth, raised by his grandmother, he had defied the odds. And now, as captain of a team representing every color and culture of South Africa, he embodied the message Nelson Mandela once championed. Sport has the power to unite people in a way that little else does. The celebration stretched across the nation. From Soweto to Cape Town, from Durban to Johannesburg, millions poured into the streets. Strangers hugged, tears flowed, flags waved, and the national anthem echoed in every corner. This was more than a win. It was healing. Chapter 5, The Legacy of the Green and Gold. The Springboks' back-to-back triumph redefined modern rugby. They weren't just a team of muscle and might. They were tacticians, innovators, and cultural ambassadors. Jacques Nienaber's tactical brilliance, his ability to rotate the squad and adapt strategies on the fly, was masterful. Players like Manie Libbok, Ox Ench, Kurt Leorens, and Jasper Wiese became new heroes in their own right. The combination of young talent and veteran leadership created a dynasty. But what truly set the Springboks apart was their unity. They called themselves a family, not a team. They prayed together, ate together, laughed together. When one player struggled, another lifted him up. That chemistry, that brotherhood, became their greatest weapon. As the celebrations continued, fans and analysts alike began to realize something profound. This victory wasn't just about sport. It was a message to the world about perseverance, unity, and a belief that greatness can emerge from struggle. Chapter 6, The Spirit of a Nation. In the weeks that followed, stories emerged from across South Africa that reflected the deeper impact of the Springboks' triumph. A young boy in a rural village began training barefoot on dusty fields, dreaming of one day wearing the green and gold. A group of schoolgirls in Johannesburg started a rugby team, inspired by Khaleesi's leadership. Even in places far from the rugby heartlands, people found hope. President Cyril Ramaphosa declared it a victory for every South African heart. The team was paraded through the streets in an open-top bus, greeted by millions waving flags and singing Nkosi Cycle Africa. For a brief, beautiful moment, the nation felt united, every race, language, and class bound by a common pride. This was the magic of the Springboks. Epilogue, the roar that never fades. Years later, when the echoes of that final whistle fade and new champions emerge, the legacy of the 2023 Springboks will remain immortal. The roar of their victory will still be heard in every small-town rugby pitch, in every child's dream, and in every heart that dares to believe in the impossible. Because the Springboks didn't just win a title. They won history. Thank you for watching. Please don't forget to hit the subscribe button, like, and share. Till next time.